Story time. Let's talk about how I royally messed up setting up QuickBooks and how you can avoid making these same lengthy, annoying decisions that I made. Picture it. Sicily. No, I'm just kidding. It was August of 2022 when I made the decision to first sign up on QuickBooks, pretty much per both like my accountant and financial business coach's kind of advice that, my business had been growing big enough and fast enough that it would behoove me to have formal books in place. So what I was doing with my business financial coach, which I'll put that video in the cards here if you want to learn more about that, that works, but it's not like a formal booking software. Or like how to formally keep your books kind of organized. So I got to the point where, okay, I'm now an S Corp LLC, we got to get serious. We got to have this put in place. But my biggest mistake was signing up mid-year. Okay, so we're going to skip all the fluff. That's the biggest mistake here, is that I signed up in August. I didn't realize that QuickBooks would not import everything from January 1st of 2022 to then. They only have you import the past 3 months of data, which I tried doing. So essentially I had, I think, till like May or April of 2022 that I imported along with everything else, and I tried organizing it. And then on top of that, I went through my bank and I got their CSV files to try and go all the way back to January 1st. But that was another nightmare because I found out that the CSV files were not right. Something was not working right with them, and I don't know if this is the case for every bank. I have a feeling it's not, because my credit card CSV was perfectly fine. But with the bank, it was showing that withdrawals and transfers were deposits. So everything was going in as deposits, which you could imagine completely throws everything off and doesn't make sense. And there was no real easy way to fix that. We tried everything from making journal entries, trying to cancel out things, trying to reconcile, doing everything. When I tell you, my accounts were just done for. There was we got so deep into this, there was absolutely no way that I was going to be able to use this account. Nothing was making sense. Nothing was anywhere near the correct amount that I actually had in the bank. Nothing was balancing. And it was just a whole big mess. And it is honestly because I tried doing it in the middle of the year. And I mean, this was months I put into this program. I paid for months of QuickBooks Online to try and figure it out. And then ultimately I had to come to the decision that, okay, it's getting towards the end of the year. This year's a wash, which really stunk because 2022 was my best year yet. And I wanted to be able to reflect that in QuickBooks. But there was just absolutely going to be no way to do that. So once we got towards the end of the year, made the decision to start fresh. January 1st, 2023, I was going to just completely disable this account, create a new one, and just start completely fresh. And I will say that ever since I made that decision, it has been a lot smoother. Now, unfortunately, it really stinks because QuickBooks would not honor their old pricing that I was locked into on the old account. So it went up $5 a month more for what I'm paying now, which stinks because I essentially paid for half a year of QuickBooks for it just not to work. They did let me do, the whole half price for 3-month introductory thing again, but that doesn't really help in the long run because it ends up still being $60 more a year for a software that drove me insane. It's definitely one of those things that I came to resent. I wouldn't be using QuickBooks if I didn't have to. It's kind of like a necessary evil at this point, just to keep everything by the books and, kosher for the accountant and things like that. So at this point, I'm really happy to say that everything balances okay. Everything is getting reconciled okay. There's been a couple little hiccups here and there throughout the past few months of this year. One of them was that my bank completely redid their website, which then meant nothing was linked up to my QuickBooks anymore. And so that took a few weeks to figure out, and customer service finally helped me out. And basically I had to take the direct bank link and link it to QuickBooks rather than sign in through QuickBooks because they still had the old website. Then that got fixed. And then furthermore, I went and secured my bank accounts even more because I was having some attempted sign-ins. So I did more like two-factor authentication, all that. So now every time I go into QuickBooks and you click the refresh or the update button, I just need to do those verifications to be able to see things through because essentially, yeah, it's not hooked up all the time since there's like an extra wall there. So all this to say, just don't make the same mistake I did. If you're going to start your journey on QuickBooks, wait until January 1st of the calendar year. If you do that, everything will be correct. It'll take over your correct bank balance. It will always be balanced because it's just starting from a fresh year, and then that works with your taxes and everything like that. I can't tell you how much time I put into trying to learn the software, trying to fix the problems myself as someone who had never used QuickBooks before. And then I worked with people who were very experienced in QuickBooks who also were having issues and were like, yeah, there's nothing to do at this point. So, yeah, don't sign up mid-year and you'll be fine. Check out my last video to learn more about my favorite iPhone apps that I use for my business, and spoiler alert, the QuickBooks app is not on that list.